welcome to Dolphin TV. Today we have Murray Creed joining us for an interview. Thank you for joining us. And I know that you've been coach for East Cricket for a few years now. How have you found the transition from assistant coach under Michael Bevan to head coach now?
Yeah, interesting question. It's Michael Bevan was a legend of the game, and it's very different to my sort of background as a cricketer. Although I did play first class cricket, I certainly didn't reach the heights that Michael did. And so Michael brought a lot of that sort of referent skill set whereby people would in some respects be in awe of him, and a lot of the behaviour would be driven by the fact that this guy's a legend. Whereas when I take over or run the East Cricket Show, it's certainly that dynamic isn't in place. So look, it's been different in that respect, but I think me being a little bit younger than Michael has its benefits, and a lot of the players are a bit more associated to my demographic and my age, and so in some respects we can relate to that level together. So you lose a bit of that star power quality, that reference sort of appeal that he had, but being a bit younger, I can bring other things to the table because of my dealings with the players age group wise.
What excites you about the Dolphins playing group this season?
Yeah, playing group. It's interesting because I think the committee did a wonderful job and recruited some really exciting players to the club this year. We've got 4 or 5 players in the New South Wales squad, so they're professional cricketers and they're part of the Eastern Suburbs fraternity, and a couple of them are playing for New South Wales. So Nick Madison, or Australia rather, Nick Madison recently got selected for Australia, which is exciting. Peter Neville's in that fold, unfortunately recently got dropped. So you've got these phenomenal cricketers that are playing international cricket, and they're part of the East Dolphins Cricket Club. So that's certainly exciting from a coach's point of view to deal with those type of players. But then the Henry Thorntons, the Will Somervilles, the John D. Pattersons, all playing for New South Wales, are in the squad, and again they're fantastic cricketers with exciting prospects, and it's great just to deal with them in a club environment, knowing that it's very likely they're going to go into bigger and better things. So yeah,
that's exciting. Coaching a grade cricket, I'm sure, can be frustrating at times, yet obviously rewarding. What are the things that you find pleasing and make you feel like you're making a difference at the end of each week?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think we need to edit that one, Palms. What do you think? It sounded like, you know what it did sound like.
It sounded like a...
We all know what it sounded like, but we're not going to talk about it. So ask that question again.
I'll ask that question again. So coaching can be a frustrating role, yet obviously rewarding. What are the things you find pleasing and make you feel like you're making a difference at the end of each week?
Right, that's a good question. And I think ultimately when you coach a grade cricket club, it's not something you necessarily link for the money or the prestige of it. It's and the essence of it is you want to help people, right? And I think at an individual level, coming back to your question, you get a bit of, or you feel that feeling of reward when you notice the players you're dealing with individually are improving, and that certainly gives me a buzz and certainly drives my involvement within the club. Just seeing people get better individually, and then second to that, from a team point of view, you know, like I think we certainly set ourselves goals on where we want to be at the end of the year in terms of on the ladder. And certainly when the team and the club is doing well and improving upon last year, hopefully it's certainly a good feeling.
After a slow start to the season, our first grade side have really developed some momentum and probably have the best side view we've seen at East in a few seasons. How do you rate their chances this season?
Yeah, look, it's a phenomenal team, right? If you look at the individual makeup of the team, there's 4 or 5 professional cricketers in the team every week, and the rest of the players are certainly capable of going on to professional cricket. And so man to man, there aren't many clubs within Sydney who have got a roster and a team as strong as ours. So with that comes a bit of expectation, and we've certainly aimed quite high. We'll be certainly disappointed if our first grade team doesn't make the finals this year. We're currently coming about 8th after 4 wins in a row, so we have a little bit of momentum on our side, and look, our expectations are to make finals cricket, and if we win, that's great, but it'll be disappointing not to make the finals. So the finals is the last 6 teams. If we don't make that, then we probably haven't done ourselves justice in terms of the roster we have.
Is there a chance that some players might get dropped if they don't do their homework?
Well, that's a funny question considering my South African background and Mickey Arthur's sort of behaviour a couple of years ago, which led to him being demoted. But look, it's a funny one. Like I think South Africans generally are sometimes known as intense people, and maybe a few people in the club think of me as at times being quite strict. But look, long story short, I think ultimately you have this idea of this culture with which you would like people to operate and adhere to, and whilst you're not going to drop people or get too cranky when they don't perform or act in a way in which you like, you'd certainly try to manage that behaviour so it fits in with the culture we want.
Right, well, Murray, thank you for joining us today, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.